Some thoughts on thoughts. The evil one, he's the deceiver. He'll do anything he can to separate us from God. One of the most common ways in which he does that is through our thoughts and through the little things. So oftenly we convince ourselves that the little things have no effect on us or they're harmless. And even in some cases we call them guilty pleasures, right? Some things we know that aren't great for us, but that we still maybe indulge or take advantage of once in a while because they're so small and significant, they're harmless, right? And so today we'll take a look at what Abba Dorotheos has to say about some of the small things, the little thoughts, and if there's any consequences for us by taking advantage of those little things in life. So Saint Dorotheos told a story that went like this. There was an abbot with a monk, and he told that monk to go and pull this little plant that was sticking out of the ground. It's a little tree. He said to pull it out of the ground. So the monk walked up to it, and he pulled it out of the ground with no effort at all. And then there was one next to it, a little bigger. And so the abbot said, now pull that one. And so still with very little effort, and even one hand was able to pull it right out of the ground, not thinking much of it. And then there was a slightly bigger one next to that one. So the monk went up there at the abbot's command and pulled on it. Now he had to use two hands and give it a little more of a pull, but it wasn't impossible, hard to even call it labor perhaps. And then the abbot pointed to an even bigger one. It said, now, go ahead, pull this one out. And so he grabbed it with two hands and he's pulling and he's working at it. And finally, he's able to achieve it. He's able to achieve the goal of pulling the plant out. But with a lot more work. And finally, the biggest. The abbot says, now pull that one out. So he goes over there with two hands and he's pulling and pulling at this little tree. But he can't seem to get it. And he continues to work and work and work, but it doesn't seem to be budging much. And so the abbot calls another monk to come and assist him. And the two of them labor and eventually are able to uproot that tree. So this example from Saint Dorotheos, I think makes it very clear that even the smallest thoughts matters. Because we're looking at a much different battle that we face with our passions and with the evil one is how we handle our thoughts. And it's true, we can't control the thoughts that come into our head. But what's also true is we can control what we do with them when they do come into our head. And if we honor them as welcome guests, and we're very hospitable to them, and we let them have a place to stay, perhaps even for extended time, or maybe forever, this evil only grows within us. These passions only have deeper roots that start in our head, but reach all the way down to our hearts. Where if we're able to be attentive to ourselves and to our thoughts, when they come in, if we could dismiss them with prayer, with thanksgiving, with the presence of Christ, we're looking at a much different battle. So let us be thoughtful with our thoughts. Let's not let the great deceiver tell us that these little things don't matter, that they're insignificant. Because that we know that through our lives, things we've suffered from, things we are suffering from, or perhaps just other people we know that are suffering. Some of these greatest sufferings and passions have come from the smallest and most innocent of things, which have blossomed into big, nasty beasts. So let us be attentive to our thoughts. Some thoughts on thoughts.